Welcome everybody to Mysteries Beyond. Kathy, turn off your phone.
Okay. I don't know if I can hear you, but I'll turn it off. Hold
I
on.
can hear you, Kathy, fine.
Okay, I'm turning it off. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can hear you. Welcome. Kathy, I'm sorry that I completely interrupted you before. We are live streaming on R.I.F.T Nation Network. We did have a couple of glitches, but now everybody is live. We are waiting for Tammy from South Texas Search and Rescue to come on with us. And Kathy has made it with us, Valerie's mother. Kathy from California was just telling us, and I know Kathy, Valerie's mom, Kathy from Cali, has to leave. She has other plans. She was telling us that she had a feeling where she felt that Valerie was in that spot. So is that something, Kathy, that you help with other cases? Is that what you do?
Yeah, with just friends. You can even ask Kathy. I'm kind of quiet, private. I don't let it be known. But
True.
yeah,
It's just a feeling or like an uneasy feeling in your stomach that you felt that
in
that
that
was the
area
spot.
that she drove by, now with, like, when I said I felt like she was choked out, my neck gets real thick.
Wow.
Almost like there's a lot of force on my neck. That's why I said I feel like she was choked out.
Wow.
It was a sickening feeling in my stomach in the area that they drove by. So I knew something had to have taken place in there, whether it's Valerie or somebody else. I feel it. Um, Sometimes I hear stuff, but mostly I just go by my feelings.
That
I'm super empathetic, I guess you would say.
it's
I
it's
feel a
called
lot of
clair
stuff.
it's called clairsentient. That's your
Okay.
gift. It's called clairsentient. And that is when you feel. So
Yeah.
it's a form of clairvoyance, but you feel.
Yeah.
Clairvoyance is when you see. Clairsentient is to feel. You just know.
Yeah.
Or claircognizant is a gut feeling, right in your
Mm-hmm.
gut. So that would explain the stomach sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Claircognizant. That's what that's called. That's interesting. Kathy M., do you have any questions for Kathy and Callie before she goes? She's got things she has to do. Uh-oh. Kathy M., is she frozen on her computer?
Kind of looks that way.
I think her connection has frozen. Kathy, are you there? Well, Kathy has frozen.
Yeah. If she has questions, she can get a hold of me. She knows how.
Okay. Well, I know
Yeah.
you have to run.
Yeah. My
Kathy M.,
kids
are
should be
you
home.
there? Well, thank you. Let's see. Kathy, are you there? Tammy, can you hear us? Okay. Kathy, I know from Callie you have to go, but thank you so much. And that is quite the gift to have. And it's wonderful that you did help out. And even anything that you can help out with a missing persons case is wonderful.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
thank
always, if Lisa or Kathy need me, I'm always available. Lisa's asked me a few things on different stuff, and I've told her. So she's the one
I'm gonna
that's.
well now that I'm gonna be contacting you too. I do these all the time. It would be wonderful to show you like the mapping or a, a forensic astrology chart to see what your feelings are. If I sent you a map, just to kind of experiment to see if you would
Yeah.
get a feeling on a certain line, because those
Uh-huh.
are quite the gifts to have,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful that you get a physical feeling so that for sure. Some people get chills. Some people get that gut feeling, claircognizant.
Uh-huh.
This when you walk into a room and sense something. It's clairsentient.
I
Clairaudient is to hear.
will share this with you. It's off topic, but I had a niece that went through breast reduction surgery, and my own started feeling very weird, and I got scared, and I went and had a mammogram to find out the results were good. So I must have been feeling her, and it happens to me quite often, so I never know if it's actually me or somebody else I'm feeling.
Isn't that wonderful, though, that you have such a wonderful gift like that?
It could be a blessing and a curse at times because, like I said, sometimes I don't know if it's actually me, and sometimes I go too long thinking it's somebody else. So
Right.
I have to learn how to tune it in a little bit better.
Well, it's to use it.
Hmm.
Using it all the time is when you have any of the clairs. There's a ton of them. Some people have the gift of where they smell or taste.
Hmm.
Um, the gift of scent. Where there's certain scents in a room, or that just that
Hmm.
gut feeling. Claircognizant,
Hmm.
clairvoyant is to see, where people can actually see things with their naked eye. Clairaudient, of course, is to hear. So I think everybody has those gifts. It's how well they develop them and use them. I think some people
Hmm.
are born with a little bit sharpened skills that it
Uh-huh.
just comes very natural, where others have to really work with them. And you know, somebody said write a book, and I'm like, I hate to write. I'm not going to write a book. And I did write the book because people need to know that when they're children and they're afraid of the dark, it's clairvoyance. It's a form of
Hmm.
clairvoyance. Most clairvoyants can't stand the dark. They're terrified of the dark. So it's interesting. It's interesting to hear other people share with their gifts, and especially to help with the missing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I love it.
that-
But
Yeah.
well, thank you. When we get this up, and Kathy Mendiola was with us, and then we've lost her signal. So I'm going to hopefully they will come back on, and Tammy will as well. But thank you so much, Kathy,
Oh,
for
you're so
joining.
welcome.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
look
wait.
forward to hearing from you.
Well, I'm going to send you if you want to, I'll send you some forensic astrology mapping. I've actually got it. There's a case up in Alaska that I just did the map, and I would love to send it
Uh-huh.
um, to you just to see where you think that this gentleman might be
Okay.
in
Okay.
the
You got my
tundra,
email?
in Alaska. I know,
Hmm.
go figure. Well, I'll send it to you, hon.
Okay.
But
Okay. I look
thank
forward to it.
thank
Thank
you
you
so
again.
much. Come back and talk to us some more about your gifts, because it's such an interesting topic. Everybody, I wish you had some more time. Come back
Yeah.
again, please.
Yeah. My son should be pulling in any minute.
Okay, hon. Well, enjoy your afternoon,
Thank
and
you. Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
No, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Take care, hon. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, there's Miss Lee. Hi, Renee. Thank you for sharing out. Gail is with us. Gail said, I felt my grandmother passing to the minute. Yes, yes. And we are talking about Valierie Ingorvaia's missing persons case. Her mother, Kathy, was on with us earlier. She is possibly having some connection issues. And we just spoke to on okay, let's try to get Kathy back on here. We're going to try to get Kathy back in the chat. And Tammy from South Texas Search and Rescue coming back in. And I'll just give you all a little bit of background with the case. And if the girls cannot get back in, Kathy and Tammy, please get in the chat, and we can take it from there. I know Lee knows a lot about this case with Valierie. Valierie went around Thanksgiving holiday. She had contacted her sister, who she was in contact with all the time. I'll be back on Black Friday shopping for the kids. And at 10:22 a.m. was the last time her phone picked up her location. which was unlike Valierie. Valierie kept in touch with her family. She had 5 children and her mother and the family. They were very, very close family. So they tracked one another. So this was unlike her to have her phone off. Now, okay, we're going to try to get Kathy back in again into the chat. Kathy, can you hear us? No, we're going to keep trying to get Miss Kathy in. But what happened is she says, I can hear you. We can't hear you, Kath. Unmute your mic, and we're going to try to get Tammy back in from South Texas and see if the girls can get on. If not, girls, get into the chat and talk to us via the chat. So this was the story of Valierie. So they mapped out where Valerie's last coordinates were on her phone. The family contacted law enforcement, and lo and behold, where the find a phone said the phone was, it was exactly where the find a phone said it was. So, and also some bloody clothing was found as well. So, one would think that with that type of materials that were found, a phone and bloody clothing, that the police would open up the investigation immediately. That didn't happen. They were in between two areas. One was one police department, one was another. So neither police department, one would say call San Antonio, one would say call Fort Worth. So neither police department would take the ball and run with it, even with that kind of, okay, here we go. We've got Kathy back on. Hello, Miss Kathy. Can you hear us? Unmute your, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Keep trying, Kathy. Unmute yourself. Kathy, we can't hear you. Kathy's trying. Kathy, unmute yourself. We can't hear you. So that's the story of, okay, now Kathy's coming up sideways. Did I bother to tell you guys that I love Kathy? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Kath. I'm sorry. We can't hear you. She had her grandson helping her before, because when you need something, you call the grandkids. They'll help you get onto stuff like this. But Kathy, I was explaining about Valerie's story about the items that were found. Can you type into the chat, Kathy? Okay. Kathy's going to type into the chat. And as we talked about, Valerie's clothing was found and her phone was found. And which police department picked up the ball and ran with it and investigated? You would think that finding that kind of evidence, they would be able to pick up the ball and run with it and form an investigation and get it going immediately. Who was the last to see Valierie? Where did Valierie, what was she in? What kind of a vehicle? Did they question anybody on the route? Did anybody see Valierie going up and down the road? Did they stop at a gas station? Did anybody do any type of an investigation for Valierie? No, they did not. I know that for a fact they did not. Did they, Kathy? Okay, I think Kathy's frozen again. So we're going to try to get... Tammy, can you hear us? Kathy, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. So we'll keep trying. Yeah, Lee said truckers had to see something. And that was around Thanksgiving holiday. People were traveling, people were out on the road. What type of investigation was done? Um, Kathy said she followed the 300 and she got a message saying where the phone was located. I followed it and walked for an hour and found it. Kathy found the phone and also clothing. And they went, the 300 is the app. It's kind of like Find a Phone, or it's the app that locates your phones. And she got a message saying exactly where the phone was located. So the police were called. Have the police done any type of an investigation, Kathy? No, no investigation whatsoever. Where is the case at currently, Kathy? And Lee has emailed Val's poster to gas stations. No, there's been no investigation. Like I said, each police department has dropped the ball on the other. So Valierie Ingorvaia has a Facebook page. You can go into her Facebook group and join it. Get flyers, pass them out. Um, pass the information out. Pass Valerie's flyer out. Um, it's a sin. Okay, she said, okay, Hondo, Texas, only wanted the phone and no bloody clothes. They're ignoring it, and the man has walked out scot-free. So Hondo Police Department only wanted the phone. They did not even want the bloody clothing to do any forensics testing on it. Who has the bloody clothing, Kathy? So this is where families get so frustrated when they have all the evidence, they have all this information, they have the 300 information on the phone. This is basically going into a detective's hands. It's everything. It's got her location, it's got bloody clothing, and it's got a phone. SAPD in San Antonio, have they ever done forensic testing on the bloody clothing? No, they have not. Now, did you all have to get a private investigator? Yes. Or do you still have a private investigator? No, they do not. So we're going to have Kathy come on here when we can get this technical issues, which we have. But no, they have never done any forensic testing for her. I know Kathy has taken Valerie's 5 children and is raising them. And that's tough. That's tough when you've got 5 children and a mother that's trying to look for her child. And Valerie's siblings have also, they've gone out and searched. They have gone out and searched in very harsh conditions into, we call them cricks. We call them cricks in Kentucky. We call them cricks, but they're creeks that have been over the girls' heads with snakes. They have gone everywhere and tried to search. And what else, Kathy? For people to join the Facebook page for Valerie's Ingorvaia Facebook page, follow them. Do you need searchers as well? Do you need searchers, volunteer searchers? Yes. And I know Tammy is continuing to try to get onto our feed here. And Tammy's let's try to pull Tammy up. Tammy, can you hear us? Tammy from South Texas Search and Rescue. You can get with her on her Facebook page or get to Valierie Ingorvaia. Do you have any searches planned, Kathy? Okay, she's typing and texting. See, we're gonna make it happen. Tammy does. So that will be posted on the Valierie Ingorvaia page. If you're in this area, in the Hondo area of Texas, there will be a search. Um, and keep in touch. Um, Kathy, we're going to have you on when we've got this. We at least got your beautiful face. We've got your beautiful face on there. Tammy is trying so hard to get on here as well. And we're going to keep practicing to get this down pat to have the girls on. But I don't know, Lee, is there anything? Can you all think of anything that I'm missing from the story except the fact that this family needs help? They need for people to spread the word. They need people to send Valerie's information around, get it out on social media so that there is pressure for the case to be investigated. Do you talk to any of the detectives at all, Kathy? Okay. Tammy, can you hear us? Tammy keeps coming in and out of our feed, so I don't know if she's having issues. Okay. So Kathy does call the investigators and they don't return her calls. So you can imagine how frustrating this is for a mother of a missing child and they're not returning calls. They did not want, they wanted the cell phone. They didn't want the bloody clothing. No forensics were ever done on that. The phone was right where it said it was. Was the area around by her phone ever searched? Yes. Yes, it was. So, what we will do, okay, Kathy's typing us some information. And Lee, do you have anything at all? I know Lee. Tammy, sorry I gave up. I tried for an hour. Tammy, poor Tammy, you kept coming in and out, and I'd click you into the stream and it wouldn't pick up. Are you in an area with the internet? How's the internet? Is it good? Or Gail says, I will have to look into this case further. Got to head out, got some customers. Thank you so much, Gail. Tammy is with, like we've been saying, is with South Texas Canine Search and Rescue. She's absolutely wonderful. She has a Facebook page as well to search for Tammy and the wonderful work that she does. Kathy states the searcher dropped the ball and did not pass the info to Tammy. So, see, it just seems like with Valerie's case, there's been one ball drop after the other after the other. Tammy, is there anything? Okay, yes, I heard you the whole time. I just came up done with Satan's trying to keep me off. I know. What is it? I'm going to have to like burn some sage the next time we try to have everybody on. Tammy, is there anything you want to add to the chat from a searcher's aspect? I mean, from a searcher, I would think finding the phone and the bloody clothing and the exact location where the phone was, that's like a godsend for a searcher, I would assume. It's all there. All the information is all there for Valierie. So we'll let Tammy answer that one. So as you all can see, every ball that could be dropped has been dropped on Kathy and Valerie's children and Valerie's siblings. So it's up to us to pitch in our time and do what we can do. What can we do? What if you live in Maine or Massachusetts or Chicago? You're not in Texas. You can share the information. It just takes a minute to go to Valerie's page and share her missing poster. Tammy said, yes, it's absolutely frustrating for a mother with a missing child. Who else do you turn to? This poor lady has gone through hell and back, all the way from Dallas, all the way to San Antonio. Yes, she has. And you know, the very sad reality of of what happens with the missing is that this happens, and it happens to families where it seems like the case gets put under a pile, or there's not enough people, or there's not enough support. And Tammy says, yes, my canine picked up Val's scent. I've got faith in Tammy that she is so determined that she's not going to give up until Valerie is found. I can hear it in her voice. I can feel it. And, like I said, if you're out in Oregon or you're up in Minnesota, what can you do? You can share this information. Share it every day. Keep in touch with the group. Find out what's going on. Tammy is very driven. Yes, they are. Searchers are earth angels. They do this out of their own money. They don't get grants from the government. They don't get any tax money. They get nothing. They rely on donations. And just again, and I can't stress it enough, same thing with the families of the missing. They have to put out money for posters. They have to put out all this money. They don't get any money either. They don't get any assistance. They get doors slammed on their faces. And every once in a while, we find wonderful detectives that really work cases. And I wish every family would have a detective like some of the great ones that I've had on this show. Because there are some that are out there. But, and I know they're short staffed, but there's no excuse for this mother to not get a phone call back. There's no excuse for them not to do forensic testing on this shirt. There's none. Zero. So we're going to keep Valerie's story going as long as we can, and we're going to share it, and we're going to talk about it. Because the more you talk about the missing cases, the more pressure it takes for them to actually come out and freaking do something for these families. It's not fair. We pay their salaries. That's why we work. We pay their salaries. So what we will do, Lee says the older detective's not good with tech. Well, I can't say anything about tech. Technology, whoops. And so we all feel that frustration with Kathy. Kathy's a lovely woman, and she keeps going with the kids. She's a wonderful grandmother, a wonderful mother. She's a wonderful person. The ranger said it's not enough to get a search warrant. So Tammy says, I did my best to get in touch with the people that own the land or how to get to the reservoir. I've taught a few here in PA, Lee says. Well, we're going to keep our word, and we're going to keep trying to figure out to get Kathy on here too, and Tammy. We're not going to give up. I promise we're not going to give up. But we did talk. Kathy has a big heart. You have no idea what she's going through. Yeah, Tammy, I've seen it for going on 30 years now. I do know what they go through. It's hell. It's like nothing we can even walk in their shoes. Kathy said the dog wanted to go onto someone's property, and they cleaned the blood where the blood was and said, no, it's not blood. Trust me, I know what blood looks like. The family did all of the right things. They called the authorities. They didn't touch anything. They called the authorities. And the owner of the land has been very supportive and has welcomed Tammy, which is absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful. So what we will do for this evening is you can, if you're interested in helping Tammy with searches, go to South Texas Search and Rescue on Facebook. Reach out to Tammy. Reach out to Kathy at Valierie Ingorvaia's Facebook page. Stay in touch. We will have you back on, Kathy. Keep trying. She's so sweet. And Tammy, we will get you on too. Yes, Texas officials need to step up. That I don't think there's any question about that. No question about that at all. They need to step up. So with that, you guys, we'll get this figured out, Miss Kathy. She's so sweet. We'll get this figured out. Tammy will get this figured out. And we'll have Susan, producer Susan, help us. She's the techie guru. So next time we'll have Susan check us out. And we will not be on next week because it's Memorial Day, but the following Monday we will. So God bless you, Kathy. We're all with you. We will keep her story going for you. So everybody, please put the canine in there because there are 2 other groups with similar names. Oh, I'm sorry. So please put South Texas Canine Search and Rescue. So put the canine. She's the only canine there. So please, Tammy Johnson, South Texas Canine Search and Rescue. Or is it Search and... Okay. Yes, and we all support you guys. So with that, have a wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I know I've talked forever, but our poor people, we couldn't hear our guests. So I'm never at a loss for words, but thank you all for joining in. And we will get this out and have the girl on. So everybody have a wonderful day week and a safe week and a happy holiday. And I will see you guys a week after that. So everybody have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining in. And we will see you all in 2 weeks. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Lee. And a big shout out to Kathy and Callie. Thank you for your information as well. Good night, everybody.